Hi gamers, welcome. Elden Ring just entered completely new era. And it leaves plenty of you very confused. For once, plenty of you is very confused about poise. And in this video, I'm going to try to help you to understand how much poise you will need from now on, and overall how important poise system is after the recent update. Before that, I want to mention something though. I have a lot of experience with this game. I have participated in many tournaments. Point being, I have been witness of many different metas developing across Elden Ring, but I have never seen such a huge change to the way how the game fundamentally plays. Even if you want to use, for example, cheat engine after the changes, the prompt says that your version of Elden Ring 2.0 might be not supported. 2.0 indeed, instead of 1.10, and that honestly is what it is. This is essentially Elden Ring 2.0, and that means that no matter the experience, no matter how good players are, no matter if that's me, G9, Lost, or you, we all have to relearn the game anew. This spreadsheet that we see here shows all the different poise values that we have currently available in the PvP. What is important to notice is the first attack usually gives shit tons of poise damage, and then follow up gives half of it. And it is consistent across other attacks from light to medium type of the weapons, and not really consistent across the heavy weapons, as you can see here. But if you're gonna look on these numbers, the pattern is somewhat recognizable, yeah? If we're gonna go with the straight swords to the paired attacks, so yeah, like essentially dual wielding, we are for example going to see that the first attack deals a little amount of the poise damage and second deals more. We can also notice that daggers deals less poise damage on the first hit and more on the follow-ups, kind of contrary to the rest of the attacks that we see in the game. And some weapons that usually forced you to have certain amount of the poise so you are not gonna get bullied, like for example rapiers. If you look at the first hit, that would potentially suggest that the poise requirements in the current patch are even higher, which honestly would be true if we would consider to look at the poise as it would be the old system. Yeah, in that case, the off-stock would be absolute bully if you wouldn't have 109 poise on your character. But it's important to understand that the game plays differently now. And for an example, in this Reddit post, we can see that people essentially looking through the new damage reduction system on the hyper armor. At the given moment when you are receiving damage in the middle of the hyper armor, you are actually getting the additional damage mitigation, and for example when you are swinging with the colossal type of the weapons, then apparently it's like 17% of the additional damage reduction when you are being hit. Keep in mind these things are actually speculative, so we don't exactly know for sure how these things work just yet. But we are going to figure them out, so stay tuned. Another important thing to notice is that certain attacks, like for example, this is CGS, Curved Greatsword, yeah? This is poise value that he was dealing on previous patch, on the first hit, and this is poise value that you are dealing on the new patch. But in case of previous patch, that was the follow-up poise damage, and this is the follow-up poise damage now. What does that mean? It means that when someone is monkey mashing you with the follow-ups, you can actually counterattack them and withstand their attack if you have enough passive poise. Or if you are going to outspace the first attack, you can for example dash into them and attack them when they are going to trade with you on your secondary hit. It's probably gonna be the best with Halberd. You're essentially gonna be able to trade and essentially out-trade your opponent because of the pierce damage. So that essentially means that monkey mashing with the certain type of weapons, like for example PSSS when you are doing the further follow-ups, actually are not going to be that powerful. Maybe because of that, you could for example position yourself in the way so you are going to get hit only with this blade, and essentially because of that just poise through the PSSS. So that gives more opportunities for the micro-spacing trades, I assume. And on top of that, overall damage is not enough to beat the hyper armor, I assume, of, for example, Colossals. Makes long story short, the dual straight sword is not going to win trade against 500 anymore, most likely. As not only you are getting the additional mitigation on the hyper armor, but the power of hyper armor is more now, so you are gaining the priority, and who knows, maybe it's going to feel so much better to play with Colossals now. Yet again, reminder that most of this is just speculations, yeah? But answering the question what is potentially the best poise value right now to be at, the answer is honestly I have no idea. But if I would have to speculate, it's still going to be similar ammo, just that you don't have to go for the 100 poise to withstand the Flaming Strike and Storm Stomp, because, well, these are going to stagger you no matter what. Unless you are in the hyper armor frames, that is. You definitely want to have more than 67.5, preferably more than 81, as having this type of values are going to allow you to essentially not get bodied by the follow-up attacks that you can utilize to your advantage to body your opponent afterwards. Good example here is Shamshir, 175 poise damage on the first hit, another one is 87.75. So yeah, like you probably want to have more than 88 poise when you are facing stuff like Shamshir, because that backswing is just simply powerful. You want to be able to withstand it. As the summary, I would say that depending per setup of your opponent, but usually if they are using 100 weapon with the good backswing, you want to have more than 68 poise. If they are using weapon with backswing in two hands, you want to have more than 88 poise. If you are facing the power stance weapons, you probably usually want to have more than 75. But yet again, keep in mind it is just a speculation. It all depends how the meta is going to develop. That will be about it, gamers. Thank you a lot for watching, and I see you in
Memory's broken, Trim goes unspoken.